y'all, welcome to Box Talk TV. It's your host Nia P.
And it's Marlo Celebrity Barber. And guess who we have in the box with us today? We have Pryor, who is going for sheriff. Mr. Pryor, tell us about yourself.
Thank you for having me, first of all. A little something about myself. I am a military veteran. I am a 36-year law enforcement, I have 36 years of law enforcement experience. I have two sons here in Memphis. Actually, one is a Memphis police officer. He just graduated about 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
Proud about that. And my
Congratulations, son.
Thank you. And my youngest son, he's a truck driver for UPS.
Okay.
Like I said, I have two grandsons that I'm very proud of. Yeah.
So what has happened through the years with politics, we have people that are professional politicians, and they're not from our neighborhoods. They haven't been through what we've been through.
Yeah.
So it's hard for them to speak for us.
Come on now.
When they're not from us.
They don't look like us. They don't talk like us. They don't walk like us.
What made you decide to say, I want to raise my hand and do something about what I see?
Well, I got into law enforcement because, as a youngster, I saw a lot of domestic violence. And this is my first time ever really speaking on this. Between my mother and my father. And it's really hard to talk about now. But it seemed like when the police would show up, in which it was the sheriff department, because, it was the county where I lived. As a young boy, I remember when the police would show up, when the sheriff would show up, that the abuse would stop. And and when it would happen again and they would show up again, it would stop. And as a child, you never want to see your mother hurt.
No.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Yeah, we never want to see that.
And you want her to be protected. And just imagine just waking up in the middle of the night, and you hear thumping and bumping and screaming.
And you're too young to do anything about it.
Too young to do anything about it.
But you knew when that uniform showed up, the pain for your mom stopped.
It stopped.
Oh, Lord.
So you wanted to be
that hero,
the pain stopper.
So, Pryor, I got a question. So, not to reach back or dig deep, but the whole situation with you kind of get into law enforcement, it's like you turned your pain into purpose. You end up becoming a hero for your mom and the women that your mom stand for, if that makes sense. Have you ever ran into a case to where it triggered that?
I can't say I've ran into a case where it triggered that, but it could be, my self-conscious. I just always just want to be there to help someone.
Yeah.
I spent many years in law enforcement, and every day was, it was just a wonderful time. I used to pinch myself every day. Like,
is this real?
That's paying me for doing this.
I
This
know
is
that's
real.
right.
I get to go out there and put bad guys in jail. I love protecting, the citizens. Like I say, I started in the military, so I have always worn a uniform, service to the country, service to my city. It's just a great feeling.
That's good. That's big.
Yeah. During your extension, your extended stay in law enforcement, were there ever times where was there a time that you felt like when you can see the neighborhood changing? When you can see that this neighborhood isn't as happy, or the spirit is down on the neighborhood. Was there ever a time that you felt like there's things that you wanted to do that you feel like the neighborhood needed?
Well, back in the day, it seemed like, when I say back in the day, it was a real long time, but it has been 36 years. When I was in law enforcement on the streets back then, people respected the law. I could go to breakfast, and before I pay my bill, the waitress would say, "Hey, no, that gentleman, already paid your bill." People would invite you to their home to eat. They didn't even know you. If you was an officer, they would bring water or invite you into their house to eat dinner. It was just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And we can get back to that, but we have to, bridge the gap between the community and law enforcement again.
Yeah.
And I think having
I agree.
a good sheriff that answers questions honestly, and the people that know that if there's a problem I can speak to. I think the community sometimes just really want to be heard, and we're tired of having people that we can't speak to and are not listening to us. And I think from just the conversation we're having, I think you'll be a person that the neighborhood can speak with and freely and honestly. So I think that'd be real refreshing for us to have somebody that we can talk to about problems.
And to end that note, if I'm gonna let the sheriff, I would have a panel of citizens. I mean, just say someone for each zip code, because like I say, officers don't have all the ideas. I would like to listen to you guys, the community on the streets, have a panel where, fresh ideas. That's what it's all about.
That's
fresh
big.
ideas.
That's big.
So I don't have all the answers. You have said some positive things that I can do that. Let's look into doing this. So as a community in a whole, we can come together and put our brains together, because many brains is better than one.
Come on now.
Fresh
And
ideas, fresh people,
ideas,
in a fresh city.
There you go.
Yeah, because we had blind spots. It's like I didn't see it from that angle. But yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. So man, that's real good, man. Can you tell us when is the election?
Well, the election isn't until next year, August of 2026.
Okay, so we just getting ahead of the game and letting
We
people
getting ahead
know.
of the game.
I think in our community we have a real problem. We don't know how to support the people that's voicing their opinions for us. We don't know how to support a candidate.
Hey, you can go to my social media site. You can go to pryorforsheriff.com. That's Instagram, or you can go to Facebook to pryorforsheriff.com. Cash App, $ Pryor for Sheriff, or PayPal, friends for Pryor 2026 at yahoo.com.
Come on, y'all.
I
Pride
think
for
before
sure.
next year
We
when
won't
can
have it
put
no other way.
some town hall meetings together and invite the public out and have a town hall and just really speak to you and let the people know there's somebody that wants to be the voice of the people, that will listen to the voices of the people.
And the next time I have something, because I have done meet and greets and in certain locations, cigar bars, the weekend downtown. So which I come to the community. I want to hear from the community. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what your problems are. I want to know what's going on, what you want to know from me. You can give me some ideas.
Right.
Because hey, if the police knew everything, we wouldn't have the problem we would have.
Right.
Right now. So I want to hear from the people.
You all right with me, Pride?
Well, thank you.
You invited to the barbecue.
I'm invited to the barbecue. That's all right then.
As a grandfather with kids in the city of Memphis, does that heighten your awareness? Does it make you want the job a little more, knowing that you can change the lives of the people, the young people that you have, like your grandchildren?
Of course. You always want to keep your kids safe, and not only my kids. Everyone else's kids. I'm just the type of guy, man. I'm an everyday guy. I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm so high that I can't hear you. It's no big me, little you.
Come on now.
You understand? So, I'm an everyday guy. Back in the day, I used to be a DJ.
I know that's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying? They used to call me Hustle Man. I had all kinds
Come
of
on, hustle man.
DJing, taking pictures. I used to be all in printers on the hill and robs and spinning and doing whatever. So this is I'm an everyday person, just like
You born and raised in Memphis?
Well, I was when I grew up, I was in Arlington. Arlington was the country then. But after I graduated, when I went to school at Bolton, and then went to the military, came back. So Memphis has since I was an adult, I was in Memphis. But like I said, I'm just an everyday guy, and I still like to listen to Glorilla and.
Okay, so I got a question that I want to ask you, but before I get into that question, please talk me off this ledge, because anytime I think of, we call them YN Pryor, we call them YNs. So anytime we hear of a YN that's stealing cars or shooting or killing, And with all the war that's going on, I say put them on the front line of war and let them go out there, since that's what they into. Get these people some kind of discipline. Put them in the army or somewhere so they can. Is something like that possible, or that's just my brain just playing with me?
I feel your pain. But when I was talking about programs, I would like to start up a boot camp program. So, as I was saying earlier, the kids that's starting to get out of line a little bit, to get them back in line, they probably went in. Just say they go in the store and got petty theft or something like that. But you got caught, you got in trouble. Let's put them in a program before they get too far out of hand.
Too far gone.
When they get too far gone, then you move it up to the big time, and you got to pay for your crimes.
Exactly. So, is there a situation where 201, like I don't know how the population go into 201, but is it getting overpopulated because crime in Memphis is crazy?
Yes, the jail has been overcrowded for years.
Really?
Yeah.
For years. I mean, I started in the jail in the 80s, and it was overcrowded then. That's when they used to have what they call Thunderdome.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's when inmates were sleeping on the floor. That's when inmates were sleeping in the gym on the floor. So yeah, it's a problem with overcrowding, and unfortunately, a new jail is going to have to be built.
Yeah,
and the thing about it, in the 80s from now, we're talking 40 years. So our jail is, let's say, 40 to 50 years behind schedule, because our city has totally outgrown the jail. Not only have we outgrown the jail, we have outgrown the way we discipline children, to the point where there's a boot camp system will be really good if you sent kids to a place where they had to get up, exercise, run, something character building, where these groups have to run boot camp style. So a boot camp will be perfect for Memphis. I
agree.
It will be perfect. Yeah, so instead of juvenile, our juvenile facility should be a boot camp facility where they have to exercise, work, train, and it'll make it a place where you build character and you build self-esteem. That way, when we return you to the street, you're not just the same person that went in.
Right, and that's why we have to think outside the box. Instead of just putting them, in the juvenile facility and they just watching TV or whatever. We have this boot camp, not only where they get up and run and exercise and be taught discipline, but they're still getting the education.
I have not seen inmates pick up trash on the highway. And I can't remember when, but I know there used to be a thing. Have you seen that? I have not seen the orange jumpsuits out picking up trash. I haven't seen that level of discipline in our jail system. I haven't seen that in a long time.
And I can't honestly say I know why it stopped, but that was something that I would like to look into, because it used to happen. Right. They used to be at the gas pumps, pumping gas for county vehicles, cutting grass, picking up trash off the interstate, all those things.
What happened to those programs?
And one thing we need to look at is, instead of filling the jail up with these misdemeanor arrests, no driver's license, this and that.
The petty stuff.
Petty crimes like that. Wow. Misdemeanor citation, give them community service to do something.
Yeah.
So you won't just be, because when someone's in jail, they got to have medical attention.
Yeah.
You understand? They got to be fed, and you got to have a guard to watch them. And right now, the sheriff's office, they have a problem recruiting. But under my administration, we would be actively recruiting. You got to have competitive pay. We have to pay these people.
Yeah.
This is a hard job. The officers need to be paid, because they're behind the pay scale from other counterparts, other cities.
That's why we're losing officers.
They go into other agencies because they pay better
with less crime. They just had a guy who killed a woman, allegedly. I got to say allegedly, but it happened in front of 500 people at Shelby Farms. The guy broke up with his woman, and she was running the marathon for St. Jude. And at the end of the race, he unalived her. Went on a police chase trying to get away, and the sheriff department caught him, and he ended up with a black eye in the pursuit of trying to get away, and they indicted the officer. So what makes a person wants to be a police officer in our community? If trying to put a person in jail gets you indicted, it makes the police not want a police.
Well, I mean, I hear you on that, but we're not the judge nor the executioner.
Okay.
Our job is to apprehend criminals, not to beat them.
Okay.
You had him down, handcuff him, put him in the car, take him to jail. Okay, I understand the frustration, but you know that's where training come in, and also where you're a human being. You understand?
Yeah.
We cannot have things like that going on. Well, you have to be professional. That is just a must. I mean, we cannot have rogue officers on the street.
So, from my understanding, you worked in a field where you legally dealt with that in your job for amount of years.
Yes.
You was in where was you at when you was working at?
Well, I worked in fugitive squad for many years. DUI, patrol, civil, but during my tenure as a supervisor, I created what they call the FAT team, the Fugitive Apprehension Team. That was a specialized unit that only went after the most heinous, crimes.
Did y'all have success with that?
Oh, very successful. Matter of fact, I created that unit in 2011, and it's still active today. So normally when you hear, matter of fact, I even worked at the U.S. Marshal's office for 7 years. So whenever you hear the news say the U.S. Marshal captured somebody, it's not only the U.S. Marshals there; it's that fugitive apprehension team that's there. Because those are a great group of guys that been working warrants for many years, and it was created just for specialized officers that were experts in their field.
For the sake of our listeners that may be interested, what's the qualifications to be in law enforcement or police officer?
Well, now it's high school diploma.
And that's it?
Basically, that's it.
Y'all
Now,
hear here?
Back in the day when I came through, you had to have military, or some prior experience, and I think we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
We need to have some kind of, background in law enforcement or military or, college, and training helps too. But, you want to have a good candidate. You want to have a good quality of officer.
Yeah, that was my next question. So being that in this field, law enforcement, I can imagine it's understaffed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So are they just hiring anybody due to it being low staff? Like,
I can't say what's the reason why they are understaffed right now. But I can say I have two boys. They taller than I am. I'm 6'1". They like 6'3". And they applied for the sheriff's office on a couple of occasions and didn't get hired.
really?
But MPD sucked them up. MPD called both of them.
Sometimes I'm riding down the street and I see police officers with these traffic stops, and my thought is they just doing what's easy. They would rather pass out tickets all day than solve the real crimes.
Well,
That's why I asked about the qualification.
Even passing out, even stopping for tickets, that's stopping crime, because once you stop a car for tickets, let's just say it's a tail light. And, as you talking to that officer, you walk up to that car, you might smell the odor of marijuana. I mean, sometimes you look over in that car, you can see them. They moving fast. They trying to hide a gun. So you see that, and you done got a convicted felon, or I could say that has a gun, somebody who could have committed a murder. So just that tiny stop takes you a long way.
That makes sense.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm tired of people driving in Memphis who don't even have a whole car. Like no front bumper, no back bumper. I saw somebody without a door. I'm like, man, you done turned this to a Jeep. Like, is we done lost our standards of every. It seems like when you see things like that, and people say, well, they just. But the thing about it is, when you see people driving down the street without a whole car, it makes you feel a certain way about it. It depresses you. It's like, man, what's going on in the city? Where dude can go, if he hits you, he gonna bump you with radiator.
And that's what I be talking about when I say officers. You know, when I leave home in the morning,
Yeah.
and I say, hey, I'm on my way to work. I'm on my way to work. So, when the officer's out there in the street, when he sees something, he should do something.
Yeah.
And so, if you see a car riding with no doors or someone doing I have seen cars doing donuts, and I have seen a police car take
I've
their turn.
I've seen it myself.
And that's it just breaks my heart when I see that.
Yeah, that was my whole point of they don't want to do no real work out here.
Your car shouldn't need no BBL. Your car should not be out here with no ass.
I'm not going to say the officers don't want to do real work, because you have some great officers out there that go out and
I agree.
bust their butts every day.
Yeah, it ain't
for
all
a city
bad.
that they're protecting, and the citizens a lot of times act like they don't even care about the officers.
That's a cultural problem that we really need to deal with. That you won't help, but you don't want to respect the people that you're asking to help you. I myself, if I was in a position, I don't see a problem with if there's crimes to up the bond and officers receive a benefit for capturing certain kind of criminals. I think I don't think it should be a bad option to have crime monetized to the point where if you catch a murderer, you should get a bonus for that as an officer. If you catch somebody that's a rapist, you should get a bonus for that. And I think that can be paid by
some kind of
raising the bonds. Make the criminals pay these officers. We need to have a program where we have incentives for officers to do the dirty work. Because if I'm gonna get paid whatever, let's say $300 today or whatever it is, if I'm gonna get the same pay whether I lock up murderers or I deal with speeders, I myself may opt to deal with the speeders on certain days when I don't feel like dealing with the murderers.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to find a way to pay these officers and reward them for the harder work.
Yes,
If you capture a murderer, there should be a bonus for that. A rapist, it should be a bonus. A child, somebody, a pedophile, there should be bonuses in place. And we need to make these officers. We need to let these officers know we're proud to have them, and we haven't done that in Memphis. If you become sheriff, is there a way to fight to get those people paid where they have a pride? We can restore pride back into the job, and we can have a police officer that wakes up early to go police doing, I will benefit for working hard and putting my life on the line.
Or they bump up like black belt or gold belt or something.
Right. So if we raise the bond, make the percentage of that bond go to that officer.
Pay is one of the hardest things. It seems like from past administrations to do. With me, I know this coming in. I mean, you're not going to get rich being a police officer, but show the officers that you appreciate them. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Show them, and that's one thing that I would fight for: better pay for the officers, not only the sheriff deputies, but also the jailers. Because for some reason, since I've been involved with the sheriff's office or worked there or know anything about it, it seems like the jailers always have been the stepchildren of the department.
And they in there with no gun fighting the same criminals
and
that
sad.
you had to put a gun on. You had to put a gun on this criminal to get him in your car.
Yes.
Then you release him to jail and he got knuckles.
Yeah.
You had to fight him with knuckles. Yeah. And it took a gun to get him in here, but you don't want to pay the guy who got to fight that same criminal with knuckles.
And the other thing I was talking about earlier when you asked me about experience, if you don't have any experience, I think you should start in the jail. If you don't have any experience at all, start in the jail, work there at least 3 years.
That's good.
And the people that's in the jail, they want to come out and be deputy sheriff.
I think that should be short time because you if you're working in
That's
the jail,
good.
you're in jail for 8 to 12 hours of your day.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you work in the jail and you've been in jail for a certain amount of years, I mean, you know how to talk to people, you know how to treat people. Even though these guys are incarcerated, they're still human beings. They still have to be treated with dignity and everything. Those officers, they deserve that opportunity to be promoted if they want to come out that jail and be sheriff deputies.
I think there'll be better officers knowing that having to have conversations and using your mind, other than using your billy club or your spray or your gun. Having to have the ability to speak with these people, they give you a first hand understanding of what these people go through. Because sometimes when a person is locked up, he or she may have a legitimate reason why he committed that crime, and he, even though he's going to go to jail for if he's stealing for his family, he may have a legal reason why he committed a crime. True enough, he has to go to jail, but that person is still sometimes a good person that found himself in a situation where he felt the need to do something illegal because he got kids at home.
Exactly.
So everybody's still a human being, other than the ultra heinous crimes like murder and rape and crimes against children and crimes against the elderly. All those other crimes, those people are sometimes good people in bad situations. But
I
then,
agree.
yeah, other than those top 4 crimes that are just people who are miserable people committing crimes, you have good people in bad situations. So as the head of the sheriff department, is there anything about the sheriff department? Because is this what this position is? If you're going for the top sheriff, you will be.
This is the man.
So
The
what would you change in the sheriff department to where the community and the sheriff department can once again commute and understand who's in our neighborhoods? I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to say, man, sometimes we need to walk through these apartments instead of driving through them.
But you must read some of my bio because one of the things that I want to do is bring back. When I was a young officer, we had what they call community policing.
Right.
That means that when we were in neighborhoods, we'll just say when the foot homes.
Okay.
So, we would come out there and set up camp for just say 30 days. That means for 30 days, 24 hours a day, our precinct, which it was like a little trailer, we bring a mobile
unit,
like that.
yeah.
So we would be there for 30 days, round the clock. So officers be riding through, some walking through, some on bicycles. But we'll be in that area for 30 days, day and night. And crime decreased. And after that 30 days, hey, we'll go to Orange Mound.
Next spot.
The next spot. And, we would continue to do that. And we would have saturation, which means that we would be going in neighborhoods, a zip code, let's say 3109. We'll be knocking on all the door 3109, getting these guys on these warrants. That's what I would like to bring back, community police.
Yeah.
That's good.
We have to make our citizens feel safe. Again, I cannot express that enough. Our citizens, they deserve better. It's just like with Beale Street. I'm supposed to be my brother's keeper.
Talk about it.
So, MPD shouldn't be there alone. When I was on the streets, they had the EDU unit. That's the Entertainment District Unit, which means that on Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, not only was MPD, working Beale Street, the sheriff's office was there. So we walked in Beale Street and the outer limits of Beale Street. So,
That's great.
so just like when you see the guys down on Riverside doing donuts and all that kind of stuff, we was out there too. Not only on Beale Street, but out there on Riverside, out there on Danny Thomas, out there on Lauderdale. We just say, for instance, like a 2-mile vicinity around Beale Street. So any bad actor, we was taking care of that. And you and your family could come down there and have a good time on Beale Street without worrying about somebody shooting, without worrying about somebody drag racing, somebody fighting all the time. It's time out for this stuff.
I ain't gonna lie, Beale
I'm sick of
Street,
it.
Beale Street done turned into a bunnet battle.
Yeah.
Every Saturday night, the bunnet girls get together. Blue bunnets versus red bunnets, pink bunnets. It's a bunnet battle. They
You
fighting
won't
over
catch me down now.
some niggas. They fighting over some nigga that's got kids by everybody.
You won't
It's
catch
a
me down.
bunnet battle every Saturday night.
But
So what,
I'm gonna tell you, I think like when I went to New Orleans, I'm gonna tell you what New Orleans did on their street. They had undercover officers that was in plain clothes but reacted to situations. And mentally, what they
That's
did
good.
to me when I was on Bourbon, it made me say, I don't know who an officer is. I'm not finna commit a crime, but it made me feel
Let me
like
stay on my best behavior.
anybody could be an officer. So my help may be that guy laying on the corner looking like a bum. But it made the criminals feel like, since you don't know who an officer is, you see one, but it might be undercovers on here. So don't play it all on the street because you don't know who is an officer. So I think we need to bring things like that, even on our expressways.
Of
We
course.
need to. I think like if I could come up with these ideas, I know these brainiacs and these guys downtown could come up with these ideas, but they don't want to implement them. We need a unit of 5 unmarked police cars just to ride the expressway. And once you see somebody doing something, man, look, somebody cut me off so bad this morning, I almost opened fire on a car. I can see why some of these people car get shot into. I'm like, hold on, bro, you almost made me wreck. We need unmarked police cars.
What's the process of getting that into play, though?
Yeah, like how would we do
having
that?
the idea and discussing it.
The sheriff. Because if I'm sheriff, I see these problems. I live in this city just like y'all do. I see what's going on, and I'm going to use my power that I have to put officers on the interstate, because we have a motor unit. You know, we have a traffic unit. We have a drug unit that's on the interstate, and you collaborate with THP.
Yeah.
And when I say I want to be no nonsense with crime, I mean this. I mean this with everything that I have. We have to start yesterday, not today, not tomorrow, but yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey man, this is old, man.
Yeah.
You know, all these shootings on the interstate, and you know, you see that they'll have a task force, you know, 4th of July for 48 hours. What is that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Is it too expensive to have a helicopter flying?
Well, oh yeah,
It's probably is that expensive? Because I know California had one all the time.
Yeah, you know, California, they had the money.
Yeah.
So you know, like I said, we can't get a splash pad here in the city, but we just have to get serious about crime, and we need the citizens to start speaking up.
Yeah.
You know, they need to start speaking up and hold these politicians, these law enforcement agencies, you know, feet to the fire, because we work for the people.
What were your thoughts on the Tyree Nichols case when it comes to the police officers, start to finish?
You know, that was heartbreaking. I watched it like everybody else did, and what happened to that young man was senseless.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, the officers went through the trial, and you know, the verdict that came down, I couldn't believe it myself. You know, I really think, you know, it was a form of, you know, some guys just really got away with it. And I'm just gonna speak the truth.
Yeah.
They just really got away with doing something heinous. You know, wasn't the outcome that I expected, or, you know, even though they're officers, when you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So what does that look like inside the camp when you have officers that get off and the citizens end up in this uproar? Do y'all have to stay guarded, protect yourself? Like, what does that look like inside the camp?
It's just hard. That's you know, that's why you see people that just
Like
hate to see the police coming.
I know y'all get death threats, stuff like that.
You know, sometimes, but as you see on my card, the leadership, accountability. You know, I want to bring back. You have to be truthful with the community. You know, no matter how hard it is, how bad it stings, how bitter it is. If I messed up, but I told you the truth, you can accept that better than me lying,
Absolutely,
or trying to cover it up, or you know, trying to
that part.
You know, get off the subject or pivot off of it. Just, we made a mistake, and we're gonna make it right.
Honesty can take you a long
Take
way.
you a long way.
Yeah,
and that what would bring the community back with trusting officers. You know, officers should be somebody who you can approach and talk to. You know, when it's like when you see an officer pull you over, you're already nervous. You're nervous. They come up there with the mean, stern look.
I'd be like, sir, what do you want?
No, but like me, you know, I would come up there. Man, where you going? You looking real nice tonight. You got your window down, blowing your hair out. You going so fast, you know. And then so she gonna calm down. You know, that's why you have to de-escalate things.
Right.
You know.
I agree. That's good. That was good.
You know, so it's just a lot of, you know, training. It's what the department needs. It just need new leadership altogether. Need an overhaul, just like the jail.
I be getting
Like
away. I tell them my name and they let me go. They be like, man, what's your name? I be like, Persephone. They be like, oh, she is not one of them. And they let me go.
You know what? This has been a real good interview. We got a lot of insight on you. I think you have a lot of passion for the job, and I truly. And I'm not saying this because you're on this podcast. Because on this podcast, I disagree with people often. But I feel like if you had the opportunity, I think you'll make the proper change, especially with the history and your reason for becoming an officer. I think that passion that you started the job with, I feel like you still have, and I feel like you really want a difference in this community. So I think you'll be great for the job, and I hope the community can see your passion for it and put you in place and do the things we need done.
Well, I thank you for that, and I just want to say that a vote for Pryor is a vote for change. I mean, it's a vote for promise. And you know, I just want to make Memphis a great place again. Because, like as you were saying, you hate to keep saying that Memphis is number one for negative things.
Right.
I mean, let's bring back Memphis the way it used to be.
Absolutely.
It used to be great, man. Everybody knew about Memphis, even though they do now, but it's on the negative end.
Right.
But let's bring Memphis back
To the glory days.
To the glory days.
And that's what we're
do
trying to
that.
do with
Yeah.
the Box Talk. We trying to set a new tone.
Yeah.
We trying to bring that energy and set the bar high.
But y'all doing a great job.
We
I thank y'all
appreciate
for
you.
having me on the show.
So there's a lot of people who are Clark Kent, and when you grew up, you wanted to go into that booth and become Superman for your mom. You wanted to be that person that put on that cape and that uniform that stopped pain, that got the cat out the tree, that restored order. And we have a disconnect in our neighborhoods where we have become so we have so much pain and trauma in our neighborhoods that we are lashing out at sometimes the people that want to stop the pain. So we have a lot of Clark Kents like you who are trying to become a person that go into the booth and become Superman and put their uniform on. So for a lot of years, you put that uniform on to stop the pain of others, and I appreciate you for that.
Yes.
And now you're trying to do something to stop the pain of the city that you care about, because you've seen so much pain that you want to once again be the voice and the person that shows up and stop the pain. So can you tell me about this campaign that you in the office that you're running for?
Well, I'm running to be the next sheriff of Shelby County. You know, as we wake up every day and we turn the news on, you just see crime is just out of control. And it seems like it's just becoming the norm. And this is unacceptable.
Are you willing to do what it takes to say, I'll be responsible to try my best to stop the pain of others in this community? You know, Memphis is right now, we are high on the list for domestic violence. And I want to say we're number one, but I'm tired of saying Memphis is number one for negative things. I want to be positive. And even Paul Young has asked me to be positive on my social media and try to turn it around. So I don't want to say we're number one for domestic abuse. You guys can look it up for yourself and you tell us where Memphis is at. But since that's a problem that we have in Memphis, and that's a problem that got you into law enforcement, I believe those voters know that's a problem that you're not going to stand for and you're not going to allow to keep happening if you have control of that.
Right.
Of course not. That's something I would not be on the knee on. Crime itself is something I would not be on the knee on. You know, we got to let these bad actors know that, you know, we're not here to play games. I mean, we're going to find you, we're going to arrest you, and we're going to put you in 201. You know, the city, it's sad that the citizens of this city and county, they can't go out and enjoy themselves. They can't go to dinner. You go to dinner, you come outside, your car gone, your windows busted.
Yeah.
You know, they pulling guns on you for your own property.
For your own property. I was on the news on Channel 13 this week for a certain situation that a lady, I don't know if you saw that. The lady, these young men went to her door, and that's how they coming now. They got one gun at your door, one gun at your back door, and they're daring you to come outside while someone is participating in trying to rig your car, hotwire it, or program it. So they're
So
daring
sad.
you. So they're not only coming for your vehicle, they're coming for your life. It used to be a time where there was an honest thief, a respectable thief, and I never thought I would say there would there's a such thing as a respectable thief. But a thief that will come outside, if you saw him stealing your car, he's like, you got me, I'm gone. I know I'm in the wrong. But now you have thieves in our community that don't feel they're wrong for doing what they're doing, and they're coming to your house as if they have the title for your car.
Well, you have these youngsters now. They have no guidance. You know, we
I
have
agree.
to invest in these young people. Not only the sheriff's responsibility, it's the parents' responsibility also. But our elected leaders, we got to step up to the plate. We have nothing for these kids to do in this city. And one of the positions that I want to focus on is programs. And to start off with programs, you know, under my administration, I would bring in social workers. Because first of all, social workers know all the programs.
They do.
They know the ins and outs of the city and the county. You know, someone has to take the lead. And if I'm elected, that's what I'm going to do.
I understand that there's things that you ask and try to do, but I need leaders that care enough about the community that when we ask a person to speak for us, if there's any resistance to things that are common sense, I want to know who is resistant to things that are common sense. Safety is things like safety it should be common sense to provide safety for a community and to allow a community to protect themselves. We need laws in place that says if someone comes on your property in that manner, you can do what needs to be done to protect your house and your children.
I
So
agree.
if there's a law in place that we're trying to push, I would like the leaders to say, I'm trying to do this, and not only tell us what you're trying to do, tell us who is against you trying to do these things for our community.
Also, is there any concern of getting these youngsters off the street, 201 ever getting overpopulated? Like, is there any concern about that?
Well, my main concern is, like I say, let's try to catch these kids before they get too deep in the water.
Right.
Okay, your first offense, you know, you got to go through this program. You got to have something. I mean, we just can't just keep letting them out on the street.
Yeah.
Recidivism, we can't. We cannot keep doing this.
Yeah, I think we have to start having programs in elementary schools before they get to the level to do things that need to be locked up. Let's start at elementary school teaching them ways to get things they need. Because I ain't gonna lie, I grew up in an era, and you did too, where we didn't have much, and we was okay with not having much.
Yeah.
We in an era right now where the young people feel like they have to be rich, and that comes from societal pressure,
Yeah.
social media, and I think we put pressure on our young men where they're not a real person, or you ain't real, or you ain't solid if you don't have. But we had less enjoyed life with we hopscotch, jump rope, basketball. Those things don't cost money, and those are the things you're supposed to be doing at that age, not driving somebody else's car. Go get you some hopscotch, play some rope, jacks. There was things we did that didn't require us to have money.
Yeah,
but
we in
money has
competition
changed
era.
our culture to the point where we feel that we all have to be rich, and we all have to have these things today. And that's part of what they consider a microwave society, where we just want to press a button and have things.
Yeah.
So we have to change that culture, and we got to start in the elementary school.
This is true, but you know, when we was growing up, you know, we had family.
Right. We have family.
We had family. But like now, you know, these kids are in single family homes, and we have to do something. I mean, look at what's going on now. You cutting out the education department.
Right.
Programs, money's being cut to these programs. So if money cut to, just say for instance, the Boys and Girls Club,
It's
or
gone.
this and that. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? We gonna just throw our hands up?
Yeah.
We cannot do that. So I would like the team, just say for instance with, let's say the school board. You remember we was coming up, we had auto mechanics.
Yeah.
We had look what's going on now. The hair industry. Young ladies had what was it called? Cosmetology in school.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
you know, you
Votech.
get these kids these
Yeah.
Votech, you get these kids these trades. They can do something. They can make their own money. You know, they can be successful. But we have to start somewhere. We can. It's the summer's almost over. School start back when? In another week or two.
Yep.
Yeah. For some people, another week or two.
Yeah.
School has been out, and to show you how we failing our kids, they don't even have a splash pad. The city went and purchased a bounce it.
A bounce house, yeah.
Is that what we? That's what we doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Like we don't have funding for our children. And I think that happens on purpose. But as much as the Trump administration and the people that are in power are doing now, I feel like those things can backfire on them if we start back relying on one another. We've become so independent that even our women don't feel safe. Anytime we have a culture where our women ain't safe, it just tells you the problem we have is men in our community where we're not communing anymore. I appreciate you coming to Box Talk TV, man. It's been a great conversation, and you answer every question honestly. And you didn't run from there question, and you answered honestly. And I think that's what we need in the position, somebody that we can speak with that can honestly answer our questions. Because even when you get the position, there's going to be days where we have questions, and I feel like at least you're willing to talk to us and tell us exactly what happened honestly, without covering it up, without trying to lie, and just tell us honestly what happened. And I think you'll be a great candidate for the job, and I hope we support you in that.
Come on now, y'all. Pryor for sheriff.
The Queen, Mia P, and Marlo, the celebrity barber. Also tell our viewers to visit our website, theboxtalk.com. We top artists, entertainers, entrepreneurs, politicians, and activists, and promote the city of Memphis in a positive also. Mention Grove Hero Building.